Live in high definition from KBAK TV in Bakersfield, this is Breaking News.
And we do have breaking news in downtown Bakersfield this evening, where a suspected gas leak is causing some evacuations near Truxton and Chester.
I want to show you a photo tweeted out by the district attorney's office taken right near Superior Court right there. We can see the fire truck and some police activity there. And here's another shot taken from our crew near the courthouse. Right now, the Bakersfield Fire Department says initial tests do not show any signs of gas, but they are still investigating the source of the smell. Eyewitness News reporter Emma Goss is there on the scene. She will have a live report for us as soon as they get established and she finds out more of what exactly is going on there right now.
Our the big story tonight, North High School athletic trainers now facing dozens of charges tied to alleged years worth of sexual misconduct with students.
Police say the investigation into Edwin Rodriguez started in September after a student came forward with the allegations. Here's a photo of Rodriguez taken from his Twitter account. He's accused of sexually assaulting students, sometimes in the classroom, using Snapchat to send sexually explicit photos to current and past students, and even driving one of them to a remote area where he would talk to them about sex. Investigators say Rodriguez's victims are both boys and girls. The alleged behavior appears to date back as far as 2015.
Rodriguez was hired in 2009 as a walk-on football coach, and he was a substitute campus security employee in 2010. He's been on leave since September, and he was finally arrested today.
As Eyewitness News reporter Emma Goss reports, his case is now being reviewed by the district attorney's office.
Edwin Rodriguez, a familiar face at North High School, is now facing 24 criminal charges for sexual misconduct with 10 teenagers.
11 felony offenses and 13 misdemeanors.
The charges range from annoying or molesting a minor to
lewd and lascivious conduct with someone 14 or 15 years old. Several charges of that. There was one count of false imprisonment, essentially keeping someone from leaving when they want to go.
The Kern High School District issued a statement saying it was shocked and disturbed by the allegations and is providing counseling and support for the identified student victims and others negatively affected by the incident. Rodriguez sent sexually explicit pictures to 8 students on Snapchat, according to the sheriff's office.
And if you're a pro, there has to be some kind of qualifications or some understanding that you're not going to intermingle with your kids in social media. That's for their social needs. That's not for your social needs.
One North High student reported Rodriguez's behavior to a school administrator back in September. He was placed on paid administrative leave the next day.
Obviously, we don't like to see this type of conduct happening. No one does. But what we do like to see is this conduct being detected and being reported and it being successfully prosecuted.
According to Centennial High School's girls basketball coach, Amy Hall, Kern High School district coaches must complete a certification class that includes a section on social media communication with student athletes and makes it very clear that befriending students on social media is not appropriate.
And it's very important to know those boundaries of who you are and who they are. And at times, it's not always easy. I mean, they may try to engage you in a certain way, but you have to understand those boundaries, the position you're in.
Instead, coaches and members of the athletics department often communicate with student athletes and parents using apps like MaxPrep's Teams and the Remind app.
And Eyewitness News has also confirmed that Edwin's wife, Josie Rodriguez, is an aide and a cheer coach at North High. She was placed on administrative leave back in November. Right now, it is not clear if her leave of absence is related to the accusations surrounding her husband.
Unfortunately, Kern County is no stranger to this type of behavior from teachers. In fact, the Edwin Rodriguez case is just the latest in a long line of claims against teachers in the county.
Eyewitness News reporter Jessica Shortabani looked into the history. Jessica?
It certainly is sad, Dave and Rochelle, that our county seems to have so many cases of teachers engaging in sexual misconduct. Today, I took a dive into some previous cases from last year, and what I found was a disturbing trend.
Kern County had multiple members of local schools being charged with sexually explicit crimes, 5 cases alone last year. The first was Liberty High boys basketball coach Jeff Hicks. Hicks was arrested in December and charged with child molestation after a 16-year-old female student came forward, saying Hicks lured her to his home and proceeded to grope and kiss her. The next case involved McFarland High basketball coach Fernando Prunetto. In October, he was arrested and charged for allegedly sending inappropriate text messages to a male student, promising the student a position on the varsity basketball team in exchange for sexual favors. Then there was Keith Cash, the girls' basketball coach at Ridgeview High School. In July, Cash was arrested and charged with the sexual assault of a minor. The coach was accused of sending inappropriate messages to a 13-year-old girl he coached, and then it escalated into him having sex with a player over 100 times during the course of one school year. Next was Johnny Watson, a video production teacher and track coach at Arvin High School. Watson was charged in March with sexual misconduct. The teacher and coach was accused of trying to solicit sex from a 17-year-old student. Lastly, there was Hector Parita. The then vice principal of McKee Middle School was charged with sexual misconduct in June. However, Parita's case took a turn when police went to his home to arrest him. The vice principal barricaded himself in his home, and a standoff lasted for 4 hours until police were able to take him into custody.
However, the amount of cases last year was not unusual. Since 2015, there have been at least 4 teaching officials each year either arrested or charged for accusations of sexual misconduct. Reporting in studio tonight for Eyewitness News, I'm Jessica Short-Turbani.
All right, Jessica, thank you. Other big news tonight, another incoming storm threatens to shut down Highway 58. Eyewitness News reporter Lexi Wilson is in Tehachapi with more on how it's affecting the mountain passes. Lexi?
Yeah, Rochelle, we're just outside of Tehachapi. It hasn't started snowing yet, but let me tell you, it is freezing. I just checked our Bakersfield Now app. It says it's about 33 degrees, but you can see some of that snow that we've seen over the past few days and over the weekend. Take a look at those beautiful mountains. Now, again, it's supposed to snow all night. Tehachapi is expecting around 2.3 inches, so a lot of snow coming in, making those roads slick and icy and even muddy. So, of course, we'll be out here monitoring those conditions, but of course, slow down, make sure those tires are filled all the way, maybe even have some extra chains if you don't have four-wheel drive. And of course, drive slow and maybe even avoid driving altogether as the snow gets heavier and it'll start to stick and make sure those dangerous road conditions. But again, we will be out here monitoring the 58 up into tonight, as there could be some of those possible closures. Now, we are going to throw it over to Jeff Platt, who's also monitoring the Grapevine. Jeff, how's it looking out there?
Up here in Lebec, where I am, flurries are already starting to come down, and while they're not sticking, CHP has already started to escort traffic through the Grapevine. You can see a lot of people already slowing down on their own, but we have seen a few patrol cars come through as well as a bunch of snow plows, and they're all trying to maintain traffic. Now, I spoke with CHP on Tejon Ranch a little bit ago on the phone, and they told me two things. One, that they are set up to escort traffic through this corridor all through the night, and also that if you do not have experience driving in snowy or icy conditions, please just turn around and go back down the hill if you're already in your car, or don't get in your car at all. Do not attempt to do this drive. One of the reasons they've already started doing the escorting through is because the roads are wet from rain earlier today, and with temperatures here dropping down to just about freezing already at this point, the concern is that these roads could get very icy, similar to a couple days ago when they had to pull trucks off of ice that were stuck for a while. So if you are headed through the Grapevine, be prepared to slow down to 30 miles an hour, because odds are you're going to hit a CHP escort. Miles, how about you tell us a little more about what's on the way?
Well, Jeff, as you say, we do have the snow and rain moving into your area right now. You can see it is already raining in the Bakersfield area, and down where Jeff was just a moment ago, you can see the snow already starting. Where Lexi was over in Tehachapi, not quite, but it's about to begin there, and there's a lot more to the north, which will be moving in. Here's what it looks like over the next few hours. Looks like the Grapevine is going to definitely be getting some precipitation, and then it kind of shifts over to the Tehachapi area there, going through the midnight hour, and we're going to keep this up all night long. So right now we're looking at the pass situation that's a little dicier over in the Grapevine. As he said, we're already pacing cars, a bit slippery there, 35 degrees. Lexi had said it felt like it was freezing in Tehachapi, and she's right. It's 32 degrees, windy right now. Green light there, but that's going to change. You can see rain falling here in the valley. Currently we have rain, and it's a chilly 49 degrees, 61% humidity, and good air quality. Winter weather advisory, 1 to 3 inches at the passes. That'll be above 2,000 feet, 3 to 6 inches above 4,500, and possibly up to 10 inches above 5,500 feet. Then we'll be looking at a freeze warning, not for tonight in the valley, but for tomorrow night. Here are the temperatures right now, 32 in Tehachapi, 34 in Fraser Park, and we've got 40s and 50s here in the valley. So look for temperatures tonight to gradually cool off. It'll be a chilly rain, temperatures down to around 39 by tomorrow. Nothing heavy expected here in the valley. Up in the mountains, we'll be looking at heavier snow. It could be worse, I think, initially in the Grapevine area, temperatures dropping well below freezing, and the Kern River Valley will see rain to begin with, but a mix of rain and snow by 11 o'clock and snow by tomorrow morning. Full forecast for this storm and the weekend to come in just a few minutes. David and Michelle, back to you.
All right, Miles, thank you for that. Told you at the top of the show about a possible gas leak around Truxton and Chester.
Yeah, Eyewitness News reporter Emma Goss is now live at the courthouse. She's going to explain why those evacuations could get tricky if they don't get this under control. Emma?
Dave, Rochelle, both courthouses on Truxton, over at 1415 with the Superior Court and here at 1215 where the DA's offices were both evacuated over concerns of a gas leak. People smelled fumes in the building and were concerned that it was gas, but Bakersfield Fire as well as the PG&E team came out and did a thorough inspection and found that actually General Services was doing maintenance work that caused sewers to leak a scent that smelled like gas, but was actually harmless. Now, even it was smart that the buildings were evacuated, because if the chance was that it was gas, it would have been something quite serious. Exposure to gas, long-term exposure can cause fatigue and headaches, as well as nausea and vomiting, and in serious cases, fainting and even death. But as you can see, Bakersfield Fire and PG&E have both left the area after doing thorough inspections, and both buildings are safe from any concerns of a gas leak. Dave, Rochelle, back to you.
All right, good news down there. Thanks for that, Emma. Other news tonight, sheriff's officials have confirmed 21-year-old Joseph Lara died of a drug overdose. The coroner's office says there were traces of cocaine, methamphetamines, and fentanyl in his system. Lara was found last month, you might recall, in the backyard of a Southwest Bakersfield home. 3 people have been arrested in connection to his death. David Williams, Kaylee Morrison, and Dennis Marroquin are currently behind bars. They're all expected to return to court next month.
And police are investigating a suspicious death at Bell Terrace at a park there. Investigators say a man's body was found just before 10 this morning in the bathroom. BPD is saying the man was stabbed multiple times, and they are now investigating it as a homicide. The victim's name has not been released. Anyone with information is asked to call police.
Some new information tonight about the woman who was accused of animal cruelty toward a dog. According to police, Elaine Rosa tied the dog's leash to the belt loop of her pants and then took off on an electric scooter. The dog was either unable to keep up or fell on its side and was then dragged along the street. Rosa now faces thousands of dollars in fines as well as felony and misdemeanor charges.
Well, it was meant to revitalize East Bakersfield, but it doesn't look that way anymore. The trouble's holding up the East Hills transformation.
Also coming up here, details emerge in the case of a missing Colorado mother. Prosecutors now counting on testimony from a woman who said she helped the killer.
And the Catholic Church is meeting with abuse survivors. What's in store for the 4-day summit and why others aren't happy about it.
And if it's not cold enough for you yet, cold front going through right now. That means colder air is going to be moving through tonight. Good chance for slippery conditions on the Grapevine and Tehachapi and showers here in the valley. Full forecast.